What's up guys, Manny here with Beer Run Buzz, and on this channel we build things. So I'm going to show you how we build this luxury chair with sapele wood. Let's go. So we started off by drawing out exactly how the chair would look and the size of each piece. Then measured out each piece on a thin piece of plywood because these will work as a template. The legs of the chair will be 17 inches long, 3 inches wide, and gradually shrink down to 1 inch at the bottom. And the backrest of the chair will be 15 inches tall and the same thickness as the legs. And once we finish tracing out our templates, we double check our measurements, cut them out, then put them together and make the shape of the chair that we want. And if you're not happy with your template, this would be the time to adjust it to your liking. So now that we have our templates all cut out, we grabbed our piece of sapele wood and traced the templates over it. When you're tracing out your stencils, make sure you put them as close together as possible so you're not wasting any material because this wood is extremely expensive. And this part of the video is pretty self-explanatory. In the meantime, if you guys want to click the subscribe button and the bell notification to support the channel, that would be much appreciated. So after cutting out our pieces of wood with the bandsaw, it's time to put them together. So we're using dowels and wood glue to put the chair together. When you're doing this, make sure your measurements are as precise as possible because if not, the two pieces won't fit together correctly. Then make sure you put a generous amount of wood glue on each piece and inside the dowel holes. Now that it's put together, we're going to clamp it and then take a much needed skateboard break. So after waiting 3.5 hours, it's time to take the clamps off and put the rest of the chair together. We measured out and drilled some more dowel holes to put the skirt pieces that hold up the chair together. Before gluing your pieces into place, make sure they fit as snug as possible. If not, you're going to be in a pickle. And you don't want to be in a pickle when you're making a chair out of expensive wood. After drilling all of our dowel holes and making sure everything fits nice and snug, we went ahead and put the chair together. We used a lot of wood glue, then tapped it together with a rubber mallet, then clamped it and let it sit overnight. When I came in the next morning, I unclamped it and I was like, damn, this thing is coming out beautiful. So I got another piece of sapele wood and started to make the backrest of the chair. I brought it to the table saw and cut it down to 16 by 3.5 inches. Then I brought it to the chair to make sure it fits nice before sanding it and rounding out the edges with a router. After routering out the front and back, I took some 120 grit sandpaper and sanded the crap out of it. Then I drilled my dowel holes and put the backrest into place. After gluing and clamping the backrest of the seat, it was time to make the part of the chair you sit on. Cut some pieces of wood down to the thickness and size that I want and put some pocket holes into them. Then glued them, clamped them, and screwed them together. After screwing it together, I brought it over to the router and rounded out all the edges. Then took 120 grit sandpaper followed by 320 grit sandpaper to give it a nice smooth finish. Also gave the entire chair one final sand with 320 grit sandpaper before installing the part you sit on. I then measured out and glued exactly where I want the chair to attach to, then screwed it together using pocket hole screws. Now it's time to give it one final wipe down before finishing it in mineral oil. After 2 long days of work, we have a beautiful piece of furniture that we plan on selling for $250. If you guys like the content, be sure to subscribe.